Hello there. I'm Damon Hatfield, host of IGN GameScoop. I wanted to let you know you can catch the show first Friday afternoons at 3 p.m. Pacific on IGN.com or gamescoop.ign.com. And now, on with the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN GameScoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me this week is Destin Legary.
Hi, everybody. There's two things I love, Jared Petty and dragons.
Yes. Sam Claiborne is here.
I think that was directly addressing some concerns raised in the comments on the YouTube page last week.
There were some concerns.
About me not liking dragons, but I like Jared too.
Just not dragons.
Yeah,
But not
just not
dragons.
dragons. But if Jared was a dragon, I'd have no problem with him.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you would want to slay him in that case.
No way. I just want to be his friend, like now.
And Casey DeFritis is also joining us.
And as you guys know, I do like both dragons and Jared Petty, so all is fine in the world.
But first, Mr. Mime can be a girl.
Yes.
Scoop.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Mime. I thought we just determined that you.
No,
is it the
Mr.
case?
Mime can be a female.
Mr. Mime.
You're
can
Mrs.
Be.
Mr. Mime.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got a great show for you this week. We're going to talk about Timesplitters. What year is it? We're going to talk about No Man's Sky. But first, again.
That's but second.
But second, this is episode 494
Wow.
of GameScoop, which means GameScoop episode 500 is nigh. It's roughly about 6 episodes away. I've been getting lots of questions about what are we going to be doing for episode 500? Are we going to be doing anything special? And we're going to be doing some sort of a live event? And the answer is yes. We will be doing a live celebration, live taping of GameScoop 500 on, are you ready for this? Friday, October 5th.
Fifth?
Just
Nailed it.
That is the day before my birthday.
all of October 5th.
Fifth.
is when this is going to be happening.
inclusive. I think that if you want to show up on the 5th or the 5th, it's totally fine.
Yes, we're going to be simulcasting on all October 5th's episode 500. And it's going to be happening here in the IGN office. It's going to be for 100 people. It's going to be a ticketed event. Tickets will be very cheap. We just do that to make sure people actually show up. We'll have lots of surprises, some special guests. We will be serving food. We'll be feeding you. And there'll be some memorabilia that you can take home and maybe wear on your person.
Everybody will get a 5th of gin.
Last time we had a
How
live
much is
event.
that? Is that a lot?
I don't know. I think that's just a regular bottle.
That's like a giant bottle.
yeah.
Okay. I don't know my alcohol bottles.
Disclaimer, we will not be giving away
fifth.
fifths of gin. But it is taking place on October 5th. So ticket information will be coming soon like in the next week. So this is more of a save the date. Save the dates. Save the October 5th on that Friday. We would love to celebrate episode 500 with all of you wonderful fans out there.
That's really cool. 500 episodes.
It's insane.
What was
Good
the topics on the first episode?
Man, I don't know. I'd have to go. I had to revisit it.
What year?
It would have been
on all,
episode 1
Damon?
for
redo
episode
it.
500.
It would have been June
forward.
2006. So the PlayStation 3 and the Wii were not out yet.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So you're
Yeah.
probably talking about them coming out, though.
Yeah, I'm sure. And it would have just been right after E3 because E3 was in May back then. So
Yeah.
just post E3, and we were probably excited about everything we saw at E3, excited about the Wii and PlayStation 3.
Have you ever missed an episode, Damon? Like, do you know how many?
I missed last week.
Yeah.
Scoop.
Yeah, because I was traveling in Japan.
But you're saying, have you ever lost count?
Yeah.
Lost
Like
count?
Fireteam chat for me, I've missed like 5.
Oh.
It used to be hard to keep track of our podcast numbers. You had to kind of type them in and you get off and stuff like that. But okay, so if you started in June 2006.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I was going to say that's weird that this is happening in August, but nope. The number has no bearing on the number of episodes in a year, which should be like 50 to 52.
Yeah, but also there's been we've missed weeks. We've done like spin-off special episodes that weren't numbered. So yeah, there's not.
Do you remember right before the Wii came out, Excite Truck was in every GameStop. And you could go play the Wii for the
that
first
game.
time. And I went and did that.
Did you say you like it or?
I like that
You like-
game.
yeah,
I mean, it
people
was
did
like
like
one
that
of the
game.
first games for the Wii I got. So, I mean, of course I played it.
Your options were limited.
They were very limited.
I don't think at launch there was like 20 games at launch.
Yeah,
Remember
but
Elebits?
I should say
you could play Elebits.
quality
Yeah, and, like,
titles might have
played
been limited.
17 of them were on that sports
Red
disc.
Steel.
There's Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess was a
yeah.
really good one.
I don't know if Red Steel was a launch game. I
think it was.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and I'm trying to. What was was there a WarioWare at the launch too, or was that a little bit later?
I think it was a little bit later.
Yeah.
I
Hot take.
remember.
Tennis was the best launch game.
Tennis.
That was
I
my
mean,
favorite.
Wii
In Wii
Sports was the
Sports? Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
Was tennis the best game on Wii Sports? What about Wii Bowling? Bowling was pretty good.
Bowling was good, but I think tennis was just, I don't know, it's just really fun and had like these subtle things you could do to be better.
Okay.
Dan votes for bowling.
All right, I'm gonna go with bowling also.
Okay.
Yeah,
Man,
but tennis was a popular game.
Tennis
Even
was like-
baseball was fun.
Fun
bowling
fact,
was good.
for my
So this was what the first scoop was like. No,
Basically
you were
like
gonna
that.
see, but you were saying I think bowling will be fun.
I want to know what Casey's fun fact was.
well, I was gonna say, and if I was on that episode, I would have been 15 and talking about how I'm getting a Wii and an entertainment system for my 16th birthday instead of a Sweet 16 party.
So did you get a Wii that fall?
Amazing.
Yes,
Was it difficult?
I skipped school to wait in line to reserve one.
Wow.
I skipped school
what a
as well to wait in
delinquent.
line, but it was college.
Yeah. I remember you couldn't even find a Wii for a long time. They were all sold out.
Yeah, it was
They were
crazy.
tough to get.
Yeah.
Little did you know in June of 2006 how big of a hit that would be.
It's true.
You're probably like, the Xbox 360 is going to rule.
And we were just coming out of
Or that was out already.
the big reveal announcement of PlayStation 3 where it's going to be $600.
Oh, yeah. Who would do that?
Scoop. All right, let's jump into this week's topics. Exciting news for fans of split-screen shooters. Coach, what is it? Coach Entertainment? Is it Coach? I don't know. This company, they've acquired the IP, the rights to Timesplitters.
Like Koch?
Yeah.
Coke?
I don't know if it's Coke or Coach.
It's Coke.
Okay.
It's the big guys.
Yeah, the Koch brothers.
They're the big guys?
Mm-hmm.
Is that...
They're just very, very rich.
All right. A statement from the CEO says, we are hugely excited to have acquired Timesplitters. The original games gave fans a massive content offer and provided a pure and genuinely fun arcade shooter experience. We have many fans of the Timesplitters series here among our own staff who are passionate about creating a product that will thrill today's gaming audience. So it sounds like they're going to make a new Timesplitters,
Wow.
That's cool.
which is pretty crazy.
Would that be 4?
That would be Timesplitters 4 if they number the sequel. A little bit more on that later on. But I don't know. Yeah, is everyone here played Timesplitters?
I played Timesplitters 2, which was on GameCube.
Yeah, it
Or
was on
maybe
Yeah.
just 3.
PS2.
The
and
original-
GameCube and yeah.
The original Timesplitters was an exclusive PlayStation 2 launch game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Timesplitters 2 was a little bit more widely.
Yeah, I remember it was a huge
known.
deal to get any third-party game on the GameCube at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And so a friend of mine was like, "You got to try Timesplitters," and I thought it was really generic and just
Really?
okay. Yeah.
Oh, man,
but
we
but
loved-
I remember my friends really liking it.
Yeah.
So now like I probably missed out.
No, we love Timesplitters because it's from the developers Free Radical, made up of former Rare developers who worked on GoldenEye and Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
And it was that sort
Well,
of
that's right. It has that legacy.
yeah. It's that sort of split screen shooter with just tons of options for multiplayer, where you can add in bots and custom
Remember that.
weapon loadouts and.
I'm
characters.
really concerned that I never played it, considering I did play GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, but
Yeah.
I just Timesplitters just never really crossed my radar.
Yeah. And it's never been re-released or anything. I don't even think they're backwards compatible on on Xbox One.
So was 3 just on PS2 also?
No, it was on all platforms at the time.
All right, sorry. I mean, it was on that generation though.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
2 and 3 both came out.
I
that
think 3 was
generation.
like 2005. It's like
Yeah.
that's how long it's been since the last Timesplitters.
When I saw this story, I was like, what would they have to do to modernize and get people interested? But then I started thinking about what they've done with Doom Eternal and how quick the movement is in that. And Timesplitters is known for speed.
It's also very fast.
And being fast paced. And I'm like, man, if they could do anything even close to what they've done with Doom Eternal, just with the traversal and movement, it's going to be a pretty cool game in the modern era of shooters.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It has been a long time. I think there are lots of kids playing Fortnite that weren't even alive when the last Timesplitters was
Do you
around.
time split back to dinosaurs?
You do. There's some time travel. I don't know if there's
Battle Royale with time travel.
I don't know if
And
there's actually-
Plus dinosaurs.
And
like
dinosaurs.
art style.
I
I
mean,
mean, I'd play that.
Yeah. Yeah.
would play. Coke also operates and owns Dam Buster Studios, which is made of a former Free Radical developers, the team that made Timesplitters, and their last game was Homefront: The Revolution, which was not well received.
You played that one.
I think I did a live stream of it
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, that game was not very well received. So I don't know. Hopefully, a Timesplitters fares better than that one.
Yeah, I mean, buying a Timesplitters license is different than buying the original team that
Yeah.
made Timesplitters, which have just scattered.
I mean, yeah,
about a million other
they're
projects.
not all
so.
together anymore.
Yeah,
But
thing.
Dam Buster has not announced a new project since Homefront Revolution, which was 2016, I think. So it's been a couple years. I don't know. I would also be happy with just sort of like a remaster bundle of the first 3 Timesplitters. You know, I think
I'd be interested to go back and play something that I completely missed in the past
Yeah.
that so many people remember fondly. So give me that opportunity.
It's
Maybe
funny
they
that you recall the multiplayer being a big part of it, because I know the single player was something that people really liked in it, and that's what I played. And it's good that a company that made a single player first person shooter, Homefront, even though it wasn't well received, is making potentially a big single player, experience game.
Yeah.
We want more of those.
Yeah, for sure. But the multiplayer is a big part of it. Although it was like, it's so different. It's from another time. It was a split screen shooter. Is there
20 different deathmatch types?
Yeah, that sort of thing. I don't know. Is there room for split screen gaming today?
Oh yeah, I think there's a big demand for it actually,
Really?
because a lot of people I see in the comments asking for couch co-op and just being able to play like party type games. They're all like online based. Even Halo's bringing it back, right?
Is that true?
I loved playing Halo split screen. I would do Halo split screen with 4 people when it was allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like more games to have that.
Cool.
Don't quote me on the Halo thing. Now I'm worried. I don't have a phone in front of me or anything. So,
Well, hopefully, Timesplitters will be making a return to form sometime in the not too distant future. Let's check in with the listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Listeners, remember you can always reach
Why are you
us
so sad?
at the email address
That's sad.
gamescoop@ign.com. Just like
Just don't like dragons.
I
Someone in the control
love
room is
dragons.
laughing really hard right now. I hope the audience is too.
just like Big Tony style.
Hey, oh my goodness. Surprise attack.
Big Tony Style says, there was recently an article on IGN about the decision id Software made in choosing not to make Doom Eternal a numbered sequel. We know 343 is going a similar direction with Halo Infinite. What is the Scoop Crew's take on not going with a conventional numbered sequel? I was always under the impression that developers see better results when you make a proper numbered sequel. And what are some of your favorite sequels that didn't have a number tied to it? I don't know if is there a correlation between, like, are numbered sequels more successable? I don't know if there's any
I
correlation
think
there.
it's easier for the buyer maybe to know this is the new one,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if there's ever been a correlation to the numbers.
Uh,
I'm also
let's-
cold.
It is cold.
It's
It's
very
very
It
cold
is
in
cold.
here.
It's getting cold.
Yeah.
Temperature's dropping.
Frost Dragon. So there's a I don't know why marketing would choose to do numbers versus not numbers, but they do both. So
That's true.
I don't
So
know how
consider-
well researched this is.
So consider Grand Theft Auto. There was GTA 3, and then they did Vice City and San Andreas, and then they did 4 and 5. 5 is far and away the best-selling GTA game, but San Andreas sold more than 4. So, so I don't know.
You know what's in common about those that's really important is that they all have Grand Theft Auto in them.
That's true.
And when things like the Road Warrior to Mad Max switch over, like we were just talking about that, or Harry Potter's new series,
Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts, which doesn't even have Harry Potter in the
That's
name.
like a spin-off.
That's risky.
It's because Harry Potter's not in those movies.
I know. It's just I just feel for them because I think it's really hard.
Yeah.
That's why like a Rogue One, has to have a Star Wars story after it.
Isn't Fantastic Beasts have like the wizarding world?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of recognizable, at least to Harry Potter fans, because that's what they call like the Universal Studios area. They call it the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I can't say Wizarding World.
They're definitely trying to do like the
difficult.
Marvel Cinematic Universe rebranding of
Yeah.
stuff, right?
The best-selling Mario Kart game is Mario Kart Wii. So not a numbered. Not a numbered Mario Kart.
Were there numbered Mario Karts? Was
Mario
there
Kart
Mario
8
Kart 2?
is the most recent
Oh
one.
yeah, that's right.
And 7.
I guess I'm
6
just
had a
I'm just
number on
recalling.
it. Did 5?
Wait, 6? There was a Mario Kart 6?
Yeah, that's
true?
now I'm confused.
What was
Where
the one
did 8
Fran
come
gave us
from?
7.9?
That was Double Dash.
You have to
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
add them all up without their numbers.
That's confusing.
Yeah, I remember talking about this one that came out. It is confusing. Yeah, that's funny.
That's a series that goes back and forth between numbered.
It totally goes back and forth. I mean, there's games that are like parodies of themselves now. Like Final Fantasy's gotten so high up in the numbers.
Yeah, I know.
that it's silly, but it's like it's so iconic to see that Roman numeral next to Final Fantasy.
I mean,
so it makes
like
sense.
something like Monster Hunter's numbering is just ridiculous because there's so many games in the Monster Hunter franchise that didn't even come out in the US. So you have something like Monster Hunter Portable Third, which doesn't even have a number here, and it's just really confusing.
Of course, the Final Fantasies, we all know, are weird.
We're in an era in which you can just call the game just the same name again.
So like God of War.
Yeah.
Halo.
How crazy is that? Like, when was the first time that happened? And we were all like,
flips over.
we really
Well,
have to call it this now?
There was Tomb Raider.
So is the next God of
Yeah.
War going to be God of War 2? The second?
Yeah.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider is different than Tomb Raider, though, at least.
What do you mean?
Because the first Tomb Raider game is actually called Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Is that true?
God of War Unchained. No,
Yeah.
that's the sequel.
But God of War is just God of War again.
Yeah.
And Xbox freaking One? Come on.
Well, there've been
That's counting backwards.
so there have been instances of games taking up sequels and then returning to just the name of the game.
Yeah.
But has there ever been an instance where that happened and then they added 2 on again? Where like,
Oh,
so
God.
like if it was God of War 2, there's already been a God of War 2 and now there's a new God of War 2.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City 2.
I don't know if that's happened before.
I feel like we're missing something really obvious there. That's had to have happened by now because the reboots are happening. I mean, it happens in movies, right?
Yeah.
'Cause you get these new Spider-Man
Yep.
sequels.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I guess
There's Spider-Man.
wasn't there already 2 Spider-Man 2s? And
Well, there's
now-
it was I think it was there was Spider-Man 2 and then The Amazing Spider-Man 2, right?
Yeah,
I think.
okay.
Oh, God.
Good. That one was really close. That's really funny.
Smash Brothers series is interesting because I don't think there's ever been a numbered Smash Brothers sequel, but people call them like Smash 4,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So the
Well,
fans
that's
just refer
that's
to
the only one because for the Wii U version, there's no. There's.
Yep, that's
it's
just-
just called Super Smash Bros. So there's.
Well, they call it Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, right? I think that's like,
yeah.
Yeah, when people ask
official
me
title.
which one did you
bad.
play, I say the one on the Wii
yeah.
or the
Yeah.
one on GameCube.
Well, so the one on Wii is Brawl. The one on GameCube is Melee.
That's right. it had
64 is just doesn't
to
have
further
anything.
extend the 4 problem with Smash Brothers is that there's also 4 3DS. So there's 4 3DS and 4 Wii,
Yeah,
and
so
then
it's just
4
Mm-hmm.
sounds like the number 4, so
Yeah.
it kind of works that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
See, this one's going to be called Ultimate. No one's going to be calling it 5.
They'll just call it Smash Ultimate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I thought Doom 2 was going to be the one, which we would just get because Doom came
Yeah,
back
yeah,
out
yeah,
as
yeah,
Doom.
yeah.
And then,
then we would Doom
I thought,
Eternal.
and then we saw like the cityscape and
Yeah.
stuff, and I was like, "Oh, this is just going to be Doom 2."
I expected Doom 2 Eternal would have made sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Or Hell on Earth. Just use
Yeah,
that again.
yeah.
you know.
But why feel the need to? Yeah, it is strange to separate your Doom from your not separate your Doom from your Doom. You just assume everybody knows, but then to go to a different naming convention after that.
My thought is people will think it's an expansion, but who knows?
Yeah, I wondered if it was a full sequel. It is.
The more I think about
I mean,
it,
that's what
like,
happened with the Wii U.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
People didn't think it was its own thing.
That's true. Yeah, that's a really good point.
not numbering games is pretty new because in the 80s and 90s, like everything just had a number after it. I think it might have been kind of novel the first time it was called like, game name : something something
What was the first sequel in human history? What was the first
in
sequel?
Pong
games.
2?
No, just in human history.
Oh.
Human
Was
history.
there like a sequel to a novel?
The first child born?
Well, the sequel to the first human. Yeah, sure. But I wonder if there was like
Cain
a book.
and Abel.
What was like the first
Abel,
book
I guess.
that
Yeah.
was they used the same name and then added the 2.
The added the
onto it,
2
yeah.
after it, yeah, because like the Iliad doesn't have like Odyssey 2.
Market
vice versa,
prices
vice versa.
for cows, too.
Yeah, or like the Farmer's Almanac or
Yeah.
whatever that is. Yeah.
Lord of the Rings books don't even use those, right?
No,
It's just
Beowulf
It's all supposed to
2.
be one.
maybe it was a movie. I wonder what the first movie sequel.
There's early
Beowulf
like,
was, like, the first
cheesy sci-fi
story, right?
movies which have that. That's pretty common.
It's definitely one of
Well,
very
yeah.
old.
Well, but even like they do like Bride of Frankenstein instead of Frankenstein 2.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. That's true.
There's something
There's
kind of
never been a
cheesy
Frankenstein
about
2.
a numbered sequel. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I guess not for video games, but for movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird.
Like Terminator. You think Terminator 2 is cheesy?
We got used to that one.
Yeah.
I like
And that had a
Judgment
colon
Day.
Judgment Day. Was there? What about the Godzilla movies? Do those have 2s?
No, there was like Godzilla and then Godzilla raids again. Yeah, I don't think there's been a
In Japan?
yeah.
Raids again?
Yep, he's raiding again. Oh, he's up to his old tricks. That Godzilla.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah, I don't think there was ever a numbered Godzilla sequel. I think they all had full names. It's usually Godzilla versus someone.
Okay.
Am I correct that there's only been one? Are we being shown something here on the screen? I think Dan is
Oh,
trying
man.
to show
The
us
history
The
of
Fall of a
sequels?
First
Nation,
movie
Nation
sequel.
1916.
first sequel. What's it called? Oh, The Fall of a Nation.
Yeah.
What is that a sequel to?
Well, the Birth of the Nation.
Oh.
But it doesn't have a
Released
2.
in 1916, it's considered the first feature-length movie sequel.
I can't believe you can read that.
I can barely read
You
it.
were Legolas. What's your elvish eyes see?
A red sun rises. Blood was spilled.
Am I correct that there's only been one numbered Zelda sequel?
Zelda 2.
Just Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. There's never been another.
Twilight Princess 2. Oh, wait, no.
It's not a thing.
No.
Zelda 2? You're weird.
I mean, I get loving it, but how can it be your favorite?
We talked about this last week because it's Jared's favorite
Yeah.
Zelda game.
I just find it odd.
Okay.
I mean, Wind Waker's great.
You
Like,
know.
it's like
you just know in
did
your
you
mind.
play,
If I played that, it'd be my
it's
favorite.
like, did you play Breath of the Wild? That doesn't compute.
Any of them?
Zelda 2 is not bad. I don't think it's bad.
It's different.
Good.
Finding that mirror sucks, all right? Finding the mirror sucks.
That's true. Good non-numbered sequels. There's the Batman Arkham series.
City's the best one, in my opinion. I thought Night was sort of weird. City's my favorite.
Sam and I agree.
I don't want to get into it.
We like the first game because it's
First
like,
one's great.
Yeah.
It uses the Die Hard formula. It takes place in one self-contained
Die Hard formula,
place.
that's
Yeah.
Which we like. Assassin's Creed Origins is a good non-numbered sequel.
Good call.
There's many
call.
others. There's many others. BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to think of
That
early
even came after
examples of that.
BioShock 2.
Yeah.
I think Vice City
Well,
you
but-
have on
but
this.
Vice
BioShock
City's,
and BioShock Infinite is like a prequel.
That's true.
I got a good one.
But it's also
Contra
a
and
sequel.
Super C.
That's
Contra-
pretty
wait,
good.
wait, yeah.
That's a good one.
That's an early one.
There was a
to
Contra
not have a
2, right?
number.
Right, Sam?
Like that was confusing when I was a kid. And then there's a Game Boy one called Operation C.
What's even more confusing is that it's not a Super Nintendo game. Like they
No,
predated the
no.
Super Nintendo,
yeah.
And then
right?
it was called Contra 3: The Alien Wars
Yeah.
after that. Oh man.
Which
Yeah, they got all mixed up back then.
there was even Contra Force on the
Yeah.
NES.
More like Contra Farce.
Yeah, that's really good. So it was even confusing to game writers at the time, as we found out. We were looking through an old EGM, and Contra 3 for Super Nintendo, when they were previewing it, they were calling it Contra 4 because there had been 3 Contras on NES already.
Yeah. Whoops.
It causes confusion.
Capcom lost, or Konami lost count.
Konami, yeah, they didn't even know. All right, let's move on. This is Arturo from O'Fallon, Illinois. He says, with the recent updates that No Man's Sky has received and yet to receive, my interest for getting my hands on a copy is increasing by the hour. Wow. Ticking up, yeah.
Cock.
It's got to be crazy by now.
I'm hesitant to do this because I purchased No Man's Sky as it was my most anticipated game of 2015 and 2016, only to be greeted with a massive disappointment. After a few weeks of sticking with it, trying to find a silver lining to the game, I finally gave up and sold it for pennies on the dollar. Rewarding the developer with more cash fills me with guilt. Yet, at the same time, I don't want to miss out on the action. How do you guys feel about giving games a second chance when conflicted with principle versus desire to just have fun? Your thoughts would be much appreciated.
Well, I was going to say if he still owned it, you have the content for free with No Man's Sky Next, the new update that he's talking about. But he said he sold it.
Yeah.
You can buy it used for like $6, and
Really?
you get the next
Oh.
expansion on PlayStation, for
So
example.
that's a life hack?
Yeah.
Just buy a used copy of No Man's Sky and then
That's
you
what
get
Mark
all the new
Medina
stuff.
did. We needed a physical copy.
It was
of
that
it,
cheap?
and he got it for like under $10. So you can get, if you're playing on PlayStation, you do that. On Xbox, you do have to pay the full price. I've been playing on the X, and I really, really like Next. But you have to go in with the mindset that this is a different kind of game. This is very relaxing and sort of a chill environment. Where you are out discovering things and exploring new planets and such. You're not.
That's what I
it's
kept
not
telling people
nonstop
about the
action.
first one.
Yeah,
Sam liked it
I
originally,
like the
right?
game, yeah.
Mass Effect, or I mean, let me do the camera looking at it. No Man's Sky was just fine. It was
Yeah.
which camera am I looking at?
You're
That
on this wide one right now.
You guys are pointing at two different
So
cameras.
the wide one you can see. That's
Yeah.
the wide one, and then your
No
one
Man's
shot's
Sky
that
was
one.
just fine. It was a relaxing, fun game to play, and it was perfect as it was.
But maybe
That's
now
all I
it's
have to say about
but
it.
maybe
But
now
now
it's
it's
even
better.
better.
Now it's too
It is
complicated.
better.
Now it's too complicated.
Is it?
No, I'm sure it's great. I really do want to dip back in, but like you have to like have that free time to like really relax and say like, oh, I'm just gonna chill out and explore the universe, which
Yeah.
I felt like I really enjoyed the first time around.
There are still some bugs.
Yeah.
So
Space
this
bugs?
Space bugs. No. Well, yes, there are space bugs. Did you guys hear about those whispering eggs?
No.
But anyway,
What, no,
wow.
Tell us.
Really?
Don't shoot
Okay.
'em.
What are you saying?
With the whispering eggs.
Is it a spoiler?
No, it's just
It's just something
aliens
someone
attack you.
found on a planet. There were eggs,
And they whisper?
and they whispered. It was really creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy.
And it ended up hatching, and Hellspawn came out and were really strong and
Wow.
destroyed everyone, and they
That's
had
like
to run
the
away
story
and
we all
abandon
wanted
the
from
planet.
the first one.
Yeah. that's true.
So now there are stories like that coming
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
which is really cool. But there are still other actual regular bugs. Like, so my friends, No Man's Sky right now is a game I'm having to pull my friends from when I want them to play Monster Hunter with me. And they're all like, no, we're playing No Man's Sky. We're making stuff. It's like Minecraft with friends. And I was on chat with one of them while they were making a huge base, like working on it for like an hour and hadn't saved and got stuck in a crevice and couldn't get out and had to restart their game.
Oh yeah, Dan Stapleton also pointed out like the first time you get a freighter, and you're grabbing your mission, you can actually fall through it and just die. I was able to get my stuff back when that happened to me, but that's kind of a widespread bug. That said, the new additions, for those who don't know with Next, are multiplayer. You can play with up to 4 people. I recommend doing the tutorial before you do that because there were some bugs early that I think have been since patched that don't encounter. But like it would be like your next marker would be off planet, but there was no way for you to get off planet. That happened to me, so I had to restart. It's really, really fun playing with people, and the third-person perspective adds sort of this new dynamic that people really seem to latch onto more than the first person. Their goal with the first-person design was to immerse you in the character, right? I think that's usually what designers are going for. With third-person, I don't know.
They
it's
just don't
just
want to
kinda
draw
cool.
a character.
Yeah, you're lost on an adventure, and you're helping this person go through his experience of finding somebody. I don't want to spoil it. And also, sorry, I know I'm on my like No Man's Sky rant, but a lot of the stuff that people are really liking was a patch that was released before.
Yeah,
I think it was the Atlas update, and that was released before Next, and Next added third person and multiplayer. Those were the big additions.
Just gave people an excuse to, as this person was saying, dig back into it.
Yeah.
I'd say if you have friends to play with, definitely try No Man's Sky again, because I think that's the most enjoyment that my friends are getting out of it, is being able to play a world together. But I think the way they did that is they started a game together, and otherwise, so if you start your game separately from each other and then try to play, you can't play in the same world unless both of you are on at the same time. So to fix that, you start a new game together, and then you can play separately in the same world.
I see.
And there's 5 save slots, so just make a save for your multiplayer experience, and you can do a solo experience separate. Yeah,
So
I like it, and especially if you play on PlayStation because you can get it for so cheap. I say check it out, and if you already own it, you can for free.
So this reader wasn't asking about No Man's Sky, right? He's asking about guilt in the game again.
His moral dilemma is, should he compensate the developer a second time when he felt misled?
Well, if he buys a used game, it's not going to the developer
That's a
anyway.
really
So
good,
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
So so I guess the idea is like, if the expansion's free in this case, and you already paid for full price for the game, I think you're in the clear there.
Yeah. Well, I think he's talking about taking a moral stance about supporting a developer that misled, and there were many clearly misleading things out there about the game at the time that people felt were lies. And I think he's saying, I don't want to give them my money. And that's totally up to you as a consumer. If you don't want to support that, then don't.
Sure. Yeah. That's. But to give the.
But it's really fun.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
People do seem to really, really enjoy No Man's Sky Next, and the developer has really really dug in and made an attempt to correct some of the things that were maybe wrong or missing from the first game. So
Yeah.
maybe that's worth compensating.
Yeah, I think
rewarding.
they went silent, and they're like, you know what? We screwed up. We're going to fix it, and we're going to show you instead of talking about how we're going to fix it. We're just going to fix it.
Yeah.
And I do respect that a lot.
All right, this is Dusty. Dusty says, I need some advice from the Scoop Crew. I've been gaming for more than 35 years. Started on the Atari 2600, have continued since then. Back in the NES days, I tried the original Final Fantasy and hated it, quitting after about a half hour. I don't like random turn-based battles. I've never played any of the other games in the series since, and my RPG experience has been next to none. That said, the 3 RPGs I've played to completion have been KOTOR, which happens to be my favorite game of all time, KOTOR 2, not as good, but still a lot of fun, and South Park, The Stick of Truth. I loved it. I don't like turn-based combat as much as more action-y gameplay. That said, I love the art style in Octopath Traveler, and I'm intrigued by the game. Should I give it and the JRPG genre another try? Will the story hook me even though it's not part of a pre-existing franchise that I already love? So Octopath Traveler. Well, it's a JRPG. If you don't like random turn-based battles, that's going to be a turnoff.
Yeah.
I don't think the story's going to hook you in that game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like dialogue and very common kind of things that play out.
Yeah, I think
It's just it's more of a game where you enjoy yourself by managing your equipment and fighting bosses and stuff like that.
I actually like the story a little bit, but you're right. It is sort of cliche, like a lot of cliche scenarios where like a bad thing happened to somebody and they want to right the wrongs, and then they do.
And it's going to take a long time to see the whole story too.
Yeah, for sure. Especially as you introduce each of the new characters. Based on what he said, I would say pass. The experiences he seems to like are where you can see what you're going to attack and then choose to go after them or try and get around them. Versus, Octopath, you just randomly encounter.
So let me argue for the sake of Octopath right now. So I also have a problem with random encounters occasionally as well. When the dungeon or area I'm exploring is really, really big and all I want to do is explore and I keep getting interrupted.
Yeah.
And Octopath is really tight and small, and I never run into that problem. So the fun, like, I really enjoy the battle system. I think it's interesting enough so that it isn't a chore. It's a puzzle every time you get into a battle. It's like, what's the best way to take down these enemies?
You like
Optimize your
trying out your
Yeah,
new stuff
exactly.
every single time. You have new things to try. You feel like you're constantly unlocking stuff in that game and picking up new equipment.
Exactly, and you can give all of your party members secondary jobs. So it's really interesting figuring out how to make the best party and making the best character to do the best job for whatever you're doing. And that's what I have fun with. I have fun with messing with my characters and optimizing them for whatever we're doing. And because the level design is tight and the story is interesting but isn't a slog, that's what you get to focus on. And there's also a free 3-hour demo on the Nintendo Switch. So
That's true.
try it out. And I suggest starting with Hanit because you can capture monsters, which
class is that?
She's the hunter.
The hunter, yeah. The huntress.
Huntress, yeah. Because she, that opens her abilities up even more and makes it even more fun and more interesting with a whole other level of things to play with.
Yeah.
I think both you and Brendan recommended the demo to me too, and I'm like, all right, everybody's talking about Octopath. I needed to check it out, and I did, and I bought it.
Yeah.
I really, really liked it. But I do like the sort of turn-based thing. I love Final Fantasy X, for example, which had turn-based battles in it with that sort of weapon progression system.
The first 9 did too.
So I played through 1 and 10. So like every 10 Final Fantasies, I check it out.
Yeah.
You're only about
I did
4 or 5
11,
away from
12,
playing another
13, 14.
I think it was really astute that you're saying that the levels are compact. I never thought about it that way, but that does make me not get driven crazy. And then some of the characters have the thing that can reduce random encounters, which I always like in JRPGs.
Yeah, and about the tight level design, we have a freelancer writing a feature on that should be going up sometime this week. So definitely look for that.
But if the 3 RPGs that Dusty has really liked are the KOTORs and South Park, it sounds like he needs to play The Witcher 3.
That would be a good choice.
Yeah.
I mean,
That'd be a really good choice.
Get thee to The Witcher 3, sure. That's an RPG without turn-based battles.
That might be more up his alley for
Yeah,
sure.
I would think so. Or like Fallout.
I really recommend Mass Effect 1 and 2.
Mass Effect 1 and 2 for sure. Yeah.
Hey, that 3-hour demo does go over into the full game as well. So there's you don't lose anything.
In Octopath, yeah. That's really nice. If you end up, try. There's no reason not to try Octopath, and if you like it, your progress will carry over.
Man, and KOTOR, the Mass Effect is basically a generic sequel to KOTOR.
Yeah, kind of. It's true. Do you think you could just jump, having never played? You want to do what?
I want to know if Dusty ends up playing.
All right,
try out the demo. Let us know what
follow
you
up with us.
Yeah.
Follow up with us, Dusty.
None of the other games we mentioned can be played on the Switch from your bed or on a plane or whatever, though. So that's actually a really good
Skyrim
advantage of Octopath. Yeah,
I'm gonna start calling you Desty.
Nope.
That's gonna be your name.
Nope. Please don't.
Do you think Mass Effect 2, you could just jump in and play that game without having played 1?
I wonder about that because it's
Yeah.
a different cast entirely.
You could. There's some context there, but you can do the comic backstory thing and then
that's
just
true.
kind of jump in.
Which
and
was
play
good.
it.
I mean, I played Dragon Age 3 without playing the first 2.
And then I skipped all the dialogue.
And you were like, I'm so lost. Who are all these? No, I'm
Well, I did. They
Wait.
came out with like one of those comic progression systems that you were talking about as well for that game too.
the
So I
context.
kind of got, a painting of the world in its state at least.
Wait, there was a Dragon Age 3?
Inquisition.
That's the one.
Or just Inquisition?
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about.
Yeah. I think it was called Dragon. No, you're right.
It was
Dragon
just
Age
Dragon Age
Inquisition.
Inquisition.
Yeah.
That kind of threw me off. Like I got it and I was like, wait, this is definitely a sequel.
Sam, in Japan, do you think they call Dragon Age Drae?
Rage.
This is Cena from
We can just call it Drage.
Drage. This is Cena from Los Angeles. Look how long this one is. Buckle up. Says, first off, thank you for all the wonderful hours of video game goodness. The podcast is something I look forward to every week. Okay. Recently, I finished God of War and Wolfenstein 2, which were both wonderful story-driven single-player experiences. Although I've been a gamer for almost 3 decades, only recently have single-player games been able to captivate me like they do now. Whether it is their epic stories, addictive gameplay loops, or immersive worlds, games like God of War, Horizon, Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, The Witcher 3, Bloodborne, The Last of Us, along with indie hits like Hollow Knight, The Witness, Nex Machina, Journey, as well as others, there has never been such an abundance of amazing single-player games on the market. I say this knowing that every other week there seems to be a discussion about the death of single-player games in this new era of games as a service. With the concern about the future of these games, I wonder, are we currently actually in a golden era of single-player gaming, which I would define as starting at the end of the last generation through this current one? One that decades later we will look back on and note the amazing quality of single-player games before things such as games as a service take over. Or will these type of games only continue to exist and get better as the technology improves? Personally, I think single-player games will never disappear completely either way.
So the era is defined as the end of the 360 and PS3.
So this
I
generation.
think it's more start of Pong till now.
Start of Pong. Yeah.
I would argue that the generation before the one we're in now is the golden age of single-player games because we had such a fantastic lineup.
We missed it?
Yeah. Well, no,
over.
like the Mass Effect
So
games
we didn't
had
miss it. We
amazing
played all those
single-player
games already.
Stories.
Yeah.
All the Dragon Age games were last gen, including 3, I believe, sort of skirted the line there, right?
That's this gen.
Yeah, that was 4.
That was this gen?
PS4.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. But we had a lot of really, really good games last gen, and I'm happy that it's continuing this gen. But I think we're more in like a shooter time right now. Lots of FPS stuff going on, and it's kind of nice to see that come back. What do you guys think?
It's nice to see first-person shooters come back.
Like just be reinvigorated with some new design stuff that have really made them feel fresh and new, like the Battle Royale genre and what they've done with Doom and what they're doing with well, I was going to say Fortnite, but that's another example of a Battle Royale.
Yeah.
I can explain.
Overwatch.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a layer I think that the writer is kind of missing here, where it's like single player games are everywhere and they're popular, but Fortnite is the biggest game in the world.
Yeah.
Like it's on everything all the time, and there's no single player game that's happening to. That's true. So I think there's just an order of magnitude we're talking about here. There's a lot more people playing MMOs, MOBA, shooters, and Battle Royale right now than there are single player games. So then when we go to E3 and we see all the games coming out in the future, a lot of people are focusing on their games that don't look like single player games in their marketing. Doesn't mean they don't exist. Doesn't mean there probably will always be great single player games, but it worries single player gamers to see one thing getting popular that's not those things, and that marketing is not aiming, directly at single player games right now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, it totally
Just trying to
does.
explain the kind of hyperventilation about single player games that you see across the internet.
Yeah. But it's true. Cena is correct that there is no shortage of great single-player experiences today.
Yeah, the popularity of games like Fortnite doesn't diminish from games like God of War or The Last of Us.
Breath of the Wild.
I really
Well,
think
actually, Last of Us was another example from last year.
there are just more genres of games today, and most of those new genres are multiplayer focused. Like we have the MOBAs, we have the like games like Overwatch, and there are just so many more of those, and so many more of those that are now free and so easy to access. Whereas a lot of the single player games are very highly produced, and you play them once. You don't have friends to play with. You play them once. You sit down, you play them for 30 hours, and then you're done. You're not going to play, God of War for 400 hours.
Well, there's a new Game Plus coming, so
Yeah, so maybe you will.
you'll play it again.
Cool.
Maybe you will.
The good news is that the people that make games are artists, and they have their own stories they want to tell, just like a director or something. Not everybody wants to invent basketball over and over again.
Yeah.
Like it's just, there's different drives. There's the money drive to get a bunch of people playing games and buying microtransactions and stuff like that. And there's the drive of people that are just people that want to make beautiful, cool things. And you can count on that always being around.
That's
I'm interested
That's a
in
really
that.
good point.
So Fallout 76 is a good example of a primarily single player game now becoming a multiplayer game like ESO as well, which is pretty interesting.
That'll be really interesting to see how that shakes out.
Some devs like Sony Santa Monica, Bethesda, and the new Microsoft studio that's being brought up, they're probably going to focus on these sort of experiences.
The Initiative.
Yeah, the Initiative.
Pretty cool name for
I'm
development.
stoked.
But if we were, in order to be in the golden age of single player gaming, would have to mean that it's better today than it's ever been before. I don't know if that's true. Sam, what do you think?
Well,
It's like, so
I've been really thinking about this since last week, where we talked about, are we in the golden age of the JRPG?
oh wow.
And I just think it's funny that we talk about our tiny little eras, because we're in the first 40 years of games existing ever.
Yeah.
And you just think about how long, just basic movements lasted, like classical era, romantic era, stuff like that. And it's just funny for us to think about this. But I think single player games have been pretty standard on the market alongside multiplayer games for like 20 years now. There's nothing really changing there.
And I think as online has sort of expanded and become more widely available to everybody, we've seen more multiplayer experiences too. So there is more out there now than ever.
Yeah, but the industry grew.
Yeah.
As a total.
It exploded.
So it didn't obscure one thing. Just those things are still being made.
Totally.
And as a testament to how good single player games were, 10, 20 years ago, those games are still showing up on top 10 lists of many people. I mean, I know like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are still in my top 10.
Yeah.
So I still hold those in as high of a regard as the games I'm playing now. They're still really...
And the shelf life of that can always work better than like the next, like all multiplayer games are going to be one up to by themselves.
Yeah,
Sometimes we look back and say, oh, Battlefield 1942 was one of the best experiences and it was so fun, stuff like that. But like Battlefield games did get better after that.
Yeah.
Just we had fun with that one a lot,
Or the old servers get shut down, so you actually can't play them anymore. So
I'm happy
players-
he's having a good time.
Yeah, that's great. All right, that brings us to Video Game 20 Questions. Our suggestion this week comes from John from Baltimore. Let the questioning begin. Did Jared say that last week?
I don't think he said let the questioning begin. And then he hid his
Fire.
hands from us on
I
purpose
am
the whole
also
time.
Disturbed that he didn't hold his hands up the entire time. Anyway,
We're just joking.
yeah, just joking.
Those are just jokes.
Was it released this era?
What's this era?
Defined as the Xbox One forward, basically. I think one was the
Oh,
first.
current.
Was
Is
it
it-
one or PS4?
Is it a current gen game? No.
Okay.
Does the Wii U count as... That's... I never know. I'm not
No.
asking that question.
Yeah, sure, Wii U counts, I guess, whatever.
Was this released before 2000?
Yes.
Okay.
See, now we don't
Narrows
have
it
to answer
down.
all these
Yeah.
questions.
Was this on a Nintendo console?
Yes.
Oh, all right, great.
So now we don't
Or-
have to ask if it's cartridge based.
Still Sam.
Everything was cartridge based
Yeah.
on Nintendo console.
So it's either it's through the N64 we're at right now, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, before 2000.
Before 2000, so you got Game Boy Advance is the final Nintendo thing that it could be from that era. Is this a handheld game?
No.
All right, so that's all them. So it's just down to the consoles.
Mm-hmm.
When did the Game Boy Advance come out?
Like 99.
It's not a question, David.
Don't answer me.
Was it on the Super Nintendo?
No.
All right.
That's 5.
No,
I don't know if that was wasteful.
it's fine. It's fine. Did this have 3D graphics?
Yes.
All right.
So it could be on the Virtual Boy or 64.
Oh boy. Was Virtual Boy a console or was it a handheld?
Did you guys ask if it was a first party game?
No.
Is it a first party game?
No.
Okay.
Third
Third party.
3D.
party
Likely.
64 game. We're just going to assume that at this point.
Yeah.
Turok.
Was this? Yeah, that's a good one. Was this well received?
No. No.
Oh,
Turok was kind of well received. Superman was the one that everybody
Oh.
hates.
Go on.
Was this a licensed game?
No.
okay. Wait.
So no Supermans, no
This is gonna be
Hulks,
fun. Not licensed.
No Zeldas.
It sucks.
No Smash.
Or maybe it was not received well, but it's still fun for some people.
Oh man.
Not licensed actually throws me off.
Yeah, that's so many games.
Is this a Japanese made game?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm thinking
no.
Castlevania 64.
That's
Yeah.
10.
I don't know. I haven't played
It's
that
20
one.
questions, right?
Yes, you're halfway there.
Is
So
it
what are-
is it from Konami?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, all right. So-
Is there a sequel with a weird spin-off character set in it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Castlevania 64.
Yes.
All right.
You got there really fast.
I shouldn't have even wasted that other question or those other three.
Good job, Sam.
Yeah,
Yay.
Castlevania 64. Which apparently is not even the real, people call it that, but it's the actual name, like on the box, is just Castlevania.
That
So
sounds
that's one of those examples of just a complete reboot.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
really assumed
You're
you're talking
kidding
about
me.
the 64th entry of Castlevania.
I know.
I just,
maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a stinker of a game.
but I
no.
played it so much.
It was a big deal at the time.
Yeah.
You know, another long-running franchise going 3D.
It was just really hard to move in 3D space at that time, and Mario solved it, and Castlevania did not.
And then what was the sequel? Like they just sort of like re-released
Legacy
the
of
game,
Darkness.
but it's the same game as you just play as the werewolf, right?
It's in the past. Yeah, so they color swapped all the polygons, and they added like 2 levels, and then like you can play as a werewolf or a female character, and you just kind of play through the game again. I think the original design of that game was supposed to have timelines, so you could actually switch between time and stuff. But they're like, get it out, get it out, get it out.
No.
And then they just made 2 games.
Yeah.
And they were both $80.
$80
I
games.
think so, yeah.
Jeez.
Majora's Mask was $80.
That's true.
75.
Was it
remember.
because it came with the expansion pack?
No. It was everything was expensive.
I thought
Well,
everything was $50
cartridges
back then.
Cartridges were.
Some that had like a larger amount of data on them were just more expensive. Like you
Okay.
can put more in the cartridge and then expand it.
Oh.
And then you're right though. Donkey Kong 64 came with the RAM
Yeah.
expansion.
And I got that for Majora's Mask.
I would buy games because they would come with like a Rumble pack or something. Like I remember buying Rainbow Six 3, fantastic game on the 360 because on the Xbox because it came with the headset.
You know what really angered me about Castlevania 64 is that I rented it and it came on the Nintendo 64. Just inexplicably, you could not put a save system in your cartridge, and you'd have to use the external pack. But that was an option. So it's just like a mean thing to do, where you'd have to use the memory card instead of just saving on your cartridge. Like Ocarina of Time, you just have 3 slots in your cartridge. But Konami was like, nah, we're not going to build that. And then they made you use a memory card. So I rented it, and of course I couldn't save. So I did the thing where you just turn off the TV the whole weekend.
Yeah, just leave it on.
I was pretty broke during N64 era, so I only played like 4 games on that console.
Did you do some
because
rentals, though?
I had to rent them and like hope my save didn't get deleted, and it was like games like Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Killer Instinct Gold.
If those saves got deleted,
Zelda.
that would be really mean because you unlocked everything for everybody.
Yeah. Well, people would save the one with the most progress.
Yeah, well, I don't really have any memories of renting games that already had save data on them.
Mine, I rented a Banjo-Tooie game that had everything
Yeah.
unlocked. Even,
It's amazing.
gosh, I don't even remember Kazooie. Kazooie had the dragon skin and could shoot fire. I thought that was really cool.
Super Mario RPG was one that I had to rent multiple times, and I would always do the 3rd file save slot and hope nobody would delete that one.
I did Link to the Past that way.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I got it, I was playing through, and then I had to return it, and then I rented it again, and my save was gone, but somebody's save was on there that was close.
Yeah.
And I had to take that over, which was really strange.
Yeah.
Like I remember
You
it was
just
like
catch up, right?
I was like, what was the next thing I was going to get? And it was the grappling hook, and I hadn't played that dungeon, and then I was just like, oh, I have a grappling hook, okay. And then I didn't know that you could shoot these certain knobs with it, and like I didn't have the training for it, but oof.
Speaking of the price of older games, this is, I don't know why I remember this, but I very clearly remember the price of Bionic Commando on the NES at KB Toys, $54.99. I remember like
Weird.
seeing the sticker on the box.
That's so weird.
the Bionic Commando, whatever, 1988.
Yeah,
cost
$88.
$55 on the NES.
That's nearly $3,500 now.
yeah.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you get it?
Worth
Did you
it.
get it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Worth it. That game is
Remastered.
I wish you still had that, the box and everything. That one's
I
hard to
know.
find complete.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, that is all the scoops that we have for you this week. Next week, we will be coming to you from Gamescom in Germany. We'll have a very special episode reporting
Cool.
to you from the IGN stage at
Are you going to
Gamescom.
that, Dustin?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be there behind the scenes doing all the gameplay capture and shooting interviews and stuff.
We're home team.
Yep.
Actually, I'm Florida team.
Florida team.
Florida team.
Nice.
You might see a lot of Damon.
What do you
You're
mean?
our host, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be hosting that a lot of segments of that live show.
If somebody doesn't show up, just do 20 questions.
That's true. Yeah, we got time to fill. And then also, do save the date, Friday, October 5th, for our big GameScoop 500 celebration. And ticket info will be coming very soon, within the next week or so.
Bring your own fists.
Bring your own fifths. Yeah. We'll have a really good time then. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com. Thank you, Destin. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sam.
thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Casey. My name is Damon. This is IGN GameScoop, and we're out.